So when I was still in town, coming this side, this stopped me. He was in his house. He stopped me, came outside. I was like, yo, bro, can you give me 2 rand? I want to buy a cigarette. I was like, oh, that's weird. Like, he spoke to me as if he knew me. He might. I have face blindness. Like, I can meet a person today, then meet them tomorrow and forget that it's the same person that I met yesterday. So I don't walk around with coins. So I was like, oh, I don't have it, man. I don't have it. Continue to walk. 10 minutes later, come across this other. He stopped me. He's like, yo, Grootman, I wanna 2 rand like shaba cigarette, which means, don't you have 2 rand? I want to buy a cigarette. I was like, I don't have it. But I thought that was weird because people never, like, it's rare for a person to just stop you and ask you for money to buy a cigarette. Like, it's rare. I don't remember that happening to me this year. The fact that it happened twice, in less than like an hour, that was weird. Like, it happened twice in less than an hour. That was weird. I was like, what's going on here? I don't think there's anything that is actually random in this realm, and I think everything happens because of something. Maybe energetically, I'm connected to people who like smoking. I don't know. Like, there's gotta be a reason. It just can't happen. Because the first who asked, me for 2 rand to buy a cigarette, he was in his house, right? When he stopped me, I thought it was a person that I know. It was a person that, like, I know that I'm like talk to, like that's because to even be free enough to even stop me, you gotta know me. But no, I don't know them. I've never seen them in my life. And then this other guy also stopped me, and he seemed serious. Like, both of them were serious when they asked me for a cigarette. Like, they were serious. Like, Grootman, can you, I was like, nah, there's something weird. You gotta be curious because we don't really know what is going on. One of the biggest mistakes that you can make is thinking that you know. Sometimes when I'm making my videos, I sound very certain about the things that I talk about, and that's because of the work that I have done. But while you're still in this realm, you can't really say you know for sure. Like, no matter what kind of experience you have, you could hear a voice in your head that tells you what's gonna happen in the future, and these things keep on happening. This voice in your head tells you what numbers to pick when you're trying to, like, win the lottery, and you win. Now you start to trust it, right? And it starts to tell you that, oh, well, this is how the universe was created, and this is why you're here. It doesn't mean that it's telling you the truth. It could be manipulating you. That's very important to consider, than to be blind. Like, no matter what experience you have, you still have to keep an open mind. It might happen that the entity behind that voice is trying to make you do something crazy. So at first it's trying to win your trust by doing the things that you want, by making you get the things that you want. And then in the end, it's going to start to tell you to unalive people. And now because you trust it, you're like, yeah, I'm going to do that. You always need to keep an open mind. No matter what experience you have, you could have a psychedelic experience where you are shown something that you believe to be true. You're like, okay, there's no way this is not the truth. You still have to keep an open mind. You could have a near-death experience In fact, not even a near-death experience. You could die and come back to life a few days later. That doesn't mean you know what happens when people die. Like, you could have just been manipulated. That's also possible. So you gotta keep an open mind, no matter what. Keep an open mind. So the reason why I sound so certain is because I've done enough work, but I also believe that people know that no one in this realm can really, that they can really trust, you know, like when it comes to like figuring out what the truth is. In the end, you just gotta trust yourself, because you know what you want, you know your intentions. If another person is telling you something, you don't know their intentions. You don't know why they're telling you what they're telling you. You know, they could be saying what they're saying because they're being controlled by something that you don't even know, that wants you to believe something. Who knows? So you gotta trust yourself. You gotta believe in your own authority. If you were stuck in a simulation, you'd need to trust yourself. You wouldn't need to be trusting other people. Even if you were stuck in a dream, you need to trust. Like, no matter where you'll be stuck, you need to trust yourself. You need to think and figure out what makes the most sense. Let's say you were stuck in a simulation where to survive you had to unalive other people. You grew up believing that was okay. Your elders justified to you that, nah, that's okay, man, that's how we live life here. You know, you have to unalive people. It's through thinking that you actually realize that, no, that's fucked up. Like, why are things set up this way? They'll try to justify that. Like, oh, it's just a cycle of life, this and that. But if you are smart, you'd realize that, nah, man, that doesn't make any sense. That's how many of us realize that we're in a hell realm. Why are things set up the way that they were set up? Why do humans gotta eat animals? Why do animals gotta eat other animals? Like, what's going on here? And why do these animals feel pain? Why is there so much suffering in the world? Why do people get sick? Like, really, really sick? Where are these diseases coming from? I mean, really, should there be diseases? I mean, wouldn't it be better if we just protect ourselves from other animals, not from diseases? Like, you end up getting sick and dying slowly because you have some disease. Like, nah, man, that's fucked up. That's unjustifiable. All right, that tells you we are in the hell realm. You don't need some entity to come and tell you that, hey, man, you really are in the hell realm. No. It's you who has to open your eyes and see the truth, right? It's still thinking. In any world that you can find yourself in, you just have to use your mind. Figure out what makes the most sense. You see, consciousness is very much capable of figuring out what makes sense. That's what I love about consciousness. You see, because consciousness is wisdom, all right? If you use wisdom, you're going to see what makes the most sense. Like, you're going to see what makes the most sense. You're going to see that 1 + 1 is 2. You're going to see that living in a world where animals have to unalive other animals to survive, that's bad. That's not good. That's not the kind of world that you want to that's not the kind of like life that makes sense if you really think deeply. You know, would want a better world. I mean, we know that on a subconscious level. I've watched many videos online of animals unaliving other animals and people commenting that that's wrong. But God, wow, I can't believe that animals go through it. You know what I mean? Like, we know that something is wrong. It's just that sometimes, because we are focusing on our own problems, we don't think of what is going on in the wild. Is it? You don't think, well, there's an animal that's trying to eat another animal right now. there's an animal that's chasing another animal, right? You don't think that. You don't think there's a lion that's about to die that cannot even hunt anymore, and it's in so much pain, and it's alone because, well, it can't hunt anymore, so it has to end up alone. Ever seen a male lion that's alone because it's old and it can't hunt anymore, or it's injured? And you feel sad for it. Look at it, like even the animals that it usually hunts, they know that it's injured. Like they can see that, oh no, it's not gonna be able to chase us. They just walk around it. They don't give a shit. Like they can see. Nature is cruel, man. We need to be honest about that. Nature is cruel. Even though I'm not an animal, I'm not like, I don't even think of being attacked by an animal because you know, there are no like wild animals where I live. You know, some people have been asking me, hey man, ain't you scared of being attacked by a lion or something? Like, nah man, there are no wild animals where I live, all right? Like there's a fence that separate us from the animals. Like I don't live very far from like way where like a game reserve, but then there's a fence, like a very big, a very large fence that separate us from animals. Like if you go to like, if you go to you know, to that, like towards that fence, you would actually see animals. Like where my mom is from, like the village where my mom is from, I usually go there. I'm thinking of going there actually, like at the end of this month. Yeah, you can go to the game reserve and you can actually see animals. Sometimes animals do find a way out. You know, elephant, they've killed lots of elephants in that village. Just that they're not, like elephants are not, like if they know that they're not where they live, like they know that they're not in that territory, they're not really gonna attack you. Like it's rare, so they've never like attacked anyone. We're the ones who just attack them and unalive them. They're usually very peaceful. If today was my last day on earth and I was given 3 options. Option number 1 is to come back but because I went through hell, now, I don't know if I should say I went through hell, but I have suffered. I can't say that I would want to go through what I went through. Like there isn't a time in my life that I want to go back to and be like, yeah, I want to re-experience that. Like, you know what I mean? It is what it is. But the reason why I would say maybe I shouldn't say I went through hell, because I know that people who have suffered more than I have. But if I just have to look at my own life only, yeah, that this was something else. Like, so of course I wouldn't choose to come back. But even if they said, you know what, man, you can choose the kind of life that you want, you know, yes, maybe you've suffered because you were born in a village, you know, there was no money when you were growing up. Maybe you've suffered because of that. Maybe you've suffered because, I mean, most of us suffer because of money. Because I'm trying to like think that you're too aware, and you couldn't really do much. Like we can give you the kind of experience that you want, or you yourself can come up with the story that you want to experience. You can be the director of your own movie. Like, everything will be up to you now, and things will be on your side. And if you find yourself in an experience that you don't like, you will also be able to change that experience. Like, you will be more powerful than you are. Right, that's option number 1. Option number 2, you go to any realm. Like, there's infinite realms. You can go to any realm that you want to go to and have an experience in that realm, and you'll be shown what kind of experiences you'll be having in the realms of your choice. Or you just stop existing. Like, you're not gonna exist at all. Like, after this experience, it is all over. There's no you're never going to know that you've existed. You're just gonna be non-existent. There will be nothingness. There isn't gonna be like a sense of being, right? It's gonna be nothingness. I would choose option number 3. I wouldn't choose option number 1. I wouldn't choose to come back and be the director of my own movie and experience whatever I want to experience. I wouldn't choose going to any realm. I will choose option number 3. Be like, non-existence. I wouldn't even think twice about it. I'll be like, yeah, I don't want to have any experience after this. I want death to be the end. I've never really believed in suffering. Yes, sometimes we do suffer, and good things happen because we've suffered. Sometimes we become stronger because we've suffered, but the suffering that sentient beings go through in this realm seem to be completely pointless. It's like they suffer for the sake of suffering. They find themselves doing things that they do not want to do, and that makes them miserable. And they do these things because they have to do these things, so they do not have a choice. They're trying to escape suffering, so they have to choose their suffering. Like, well, if I don't go to work, I'm going to suffer. If I go to work, I'm going to suffer. So what should I do? I'd rather go to work because, well, everyone wants a job, so I must go to work. If I'm going to stay at home and do nothing, I'm not even going to have the things that I want, meaning that I'm not even going to experience pleasure at all. I'm just going to be suffering. So wouldn't it be better to suffer so that later on I'll experience pleasure? I mean, that seems better, right? Because if you do nothing, you're going to suffer, but you're not going to be rewarded for your suffering. So you're just going to be chilling at home and you're bored, right? You're bored. You don't know what to do. No one wants to be around you because you have nothing. So you're just going to be bored and you suffer because of that, and you're not going to be rewarded for your suffering. But if you go to work, at least you'll be rewarded for your suffering. At least they will pay you some money in the end, and you will be able to buy some of the things that you want, and you're going to feel better because you were able to buy some of the things that you want. But that wouldn't mean that you really want to go to work. The kind of work that human beings are expected to do isn't the kind of work that they naturally want to do. Like, human beings themselves are not lazy, all right? When I was growing up, bruh, my grandparents, they used to work a lot, but they love their work. Like, they weren't employed by anyone. They just would do their own thing, but they loved the work that they did. Because that was natural. But now we are supposed to go and work in offices. You sit in an office for 3 hours and then have like they give you like maybe 30 minutes to eat. You go and eat and then come back, sit in the office, start typing, or maybe waiting for a call. You know what I mean? Like, that's boring. That's hell, bro. Like, when you think about it, that is hell. I remember this other day I went to this other shop to buy a speaker. And I spoke to this other guy, because before I buy anything, bro, like I'm gonna talk to like I'm gonna try to get all the information that I can get about the thing that I'm buying. So I wanted to buy this JBL speaker, dope speaker. But I had a communication with this guy, like, yo man, what are the benefits and all that? Let's play it, and then I'll play another speakers, just to see which speaker is actually best. And then I left. I told that guy that I might come back, but I didn't promise him that I'm gonna come back, because when you buy something from that shop, like, they give the person that has helped you some money. Maybe they get 10%. When I went back, because I have face blindness, I didn't recognize the nigga. So I went back and I was like, okay, now I'm buying this speaker, because I did enough research. Besides, it was between that speaker, it was between JBL 110 and the Boombox 3, right? So I was like, which one should I get? But I ended up deciding to buy the 110. It's insane. So this lady came through to help, and I bought the speaker from her. But I could hear that nigga in the background talking shit. Like, he's so damn angry that he feel like she took his customer. You know what I mean? Like, he's like, yeah, that guy wanted to buy the speaker for me. You know, now she's taking my customer. Like, and you could see that he's so damn miserable because he's there the whole time. Like, people don't love, you know, their jobs, because it sucks, man. You're gonna have to be in a shop the whole damn day just chilling, and they tell you when to go, and it's kind of like a prison. It's just that because we are given the illusion of freedom, like, hey, you can go home, right? You can go home, like, if you want to. Let's just say you feel sick, you can go home, or you can quit your job. You don't have to be here. If you don't want to continue to work, you can quit. So it doesn't feel more like a prison, but it is. It is, because people have to be there because they want to make money. So of course people ain't gonna feel good. I've worked multiple jobs I've had many jobs, actually. You know, I've worked many jobs. In South Africa, you can get like a contract maybe for a year, and then you get another contract. Like, it's hard to get a permanent job in South Africa. So I've had many jobs in my life, and I can tell you that it really did suck having to wake up at 4 a.m. in the morning and go to work. And I never like really had a job that really paid me enough, you know, where I felt like, damn, this is, you know what I mean, like, this is worth it. So you'd wake up, and I'm a hard worker. Naturally, I'm a hard worker. I've worked in different places, and I was always like killing it wherever I worked, but I wasn't enjoying what I was doing at all. You know, I wasn't enjoying what I was doing at all. So I've always had like this idea of like starting my own business. Like, you know, like, what kind of businesses can I start? Like, have like multiple businesses running at the same time. Just to make my life less miserable. But yeah, this is not like, this feels more like hell, bro. This is not the kind of experience that people will wanna have. It's just that because now we are already here, there's this desire to, you know what I mean, there's this desire to keep on having this experience. It's like if you never like people who are addicted to like KFC, for an example. If they've never like had KFC before, they wouldn't want to eat it. They wouldn't really crave KFC because they never ate, like. But once they start, they're gonna want it. That's the thing. It's like drugs, right? If you're going to take some drug, crystal meth, for an example, regularly, you get to a point where you're addicted, and you wanna continue to take these drugs even if you don't want to take these drugs. That is why people have to go to rehab. You know, some people think that people are continuing to live their lives because they're enjoying their lives. No. Once you start something that is actually addictive, whether you are enjoying what you're doing or not, you will still feel like doing it because you are addicted to it. You know, I don't know how many people have sent me messages telling me that I should make videos about addiction. Like, how do you get rid of addiction? Like, you're addicted to something. Maybe it's food, maybe it's alcohol, maybe it's drugs, maybe it's sex, maybe it's masturbation, maybe you know, whatever you're addicted to. Like, people don't want to be addicted to anything. They don't want to feel like prisoners. That's the thing. So I would never choose to come back here. I would never choose to be addicted to this again, even if it meant that I'm gonna have the kind of experiences that I want. I don't believe in this realm. I think we're lying to ourselves a lot. That is why we feel like we're having a positive experience. I think that's the only way that we could actually have a positive experience is by lying to ourselves. That is why when people, you know, open up and actually speak the truth, we try to maybe cancel them. What is this guy doing? Like, he just did something like this and it doesn't even make sense. But yeah, when people try to speak the truth, we try to cancel them. Especially people who are like really, really famous. They can't speak the truth. I remember people were mad at The Rock Johnson, Dwayne The Rock Johnson, because they were like, when he's asked like questions in interviews, he doesn't really, like, he's always neutral. Like, he doesn't say anything that's gonna make people judge him. He's always neutral. It's because you can't speak the truth. You know, he's making a lot of money. You know, there are people who are sponsoring him, the companies that are working with him, you know, WWE, he's getting movie roles, so he doesn't want to screw that up by speaking the truth. Because once you start speaking the truth, you like lose. You start to lose the things that you have. In this realm, you don't speak the truth. You literally win by lying. You see, you literally win by lying. You just have to figure out what you need to say. I was watching this interview of Tyler, right? Tyler is more famous in America than she is in South Africa. That's actually crazy. Like, I didn't know Tyler until she won that award. But yeah, she was being interviewed, and you know, Charlemagne, yeah, I mean, my nigga. But the thing is, my nigga is a coward, but he does his job very well. Like, when he's truly confronted, he does act like a coward. I think he did something that he did to Tyler to Lil Kim years ago, and she got a goons to chase him, and the nigga ran away. Like, what? Now, I'm not saying you should be an idiot and not run away, but like, if you're going to act like you're that brave, then you gotta be that brave no matter what. So yeah, so Charlemagne was interviewing her. He was asking her about her race, like, are you really black? And the team started to interrupt the interview, like, no, you can't ask those questions, you know. And she was saying that she's black, you know, that she's not black actually, like she's a colored South African, but of course in America, people who are colored are considered to be black. You know, Trevor Noah is considered to be black, right? So she's black, and you know, a lot of black people are angry because they're like, well, she's saying that she's black because she knows that she's gonna get support from black people, and of course a lot of people are gonna support her because she's a black South African. So of course her story is gonna touch a lot of people. That a black South African made it in America, you know what I mean? But if she's a white South African, because white people are privileged, you know, or Indian people are, you know, Indian people are doing very well in South Africa. I've never seen a homeless guys, have you ever seen a homeless Indian person? Like, this just came to me now. Have you ever seen a homeless Indian person? As I've never seen a homeless Indian person. I've never seen a broke Indian person. Like, Indian people are doing very well in South Africa, and I think they're doing well everywhere, right? I've never seen a homeless Indian person anywhere. I mean, I've watched many documentaries about homeless people in many different countries, and I've never seen a homeless Indian person. But people trying to cancel her because she's saying that she's black tells you how speaking the truth can get you cancelled. That is why these celebrities are afraid to speak the truth, you know, because that's not a big deal at all. Even if she lied about being black, she does look black. She's black in my opinion, but it is what it is. So even if she lied, because, you know, I've only started to like think she might not, it started to take this whole she's not black thing seriously after people started talking about it, and I, you know, paid attention to how she looks, and I was like, yeah, she kind of look Indian, but she's black. Like, she's not lying. She's black, and maybe she's like maybe 10%, 20% black, but I mean, they say who is it? Alicia Keys is black, right? They say Logic is black, right? They say, I think they said The Rock is black as well. Like, Dwayne Johnson is black. I was actually surprised that a lot of black Americans were complaining about her race, because I've always felt like many black Americans are not really, you know what I mean? I'm not even gonna say it, but you know what I was about to say. So that shows you that speaking the truth can really get you in trouble, right? People are afraid to speak the truth. That's the kind of realm that we live in. We live in a realm where speaking the truth is taboo. Speaking the truth is a sin. Speaking the truth is a bad thing. So people would rather lie, you know? That's why yeah, people lie. Like, I'd rather lie than speak the truth, because I get rewarded for speaking the truth, and I do not get rewarded for lying. I mean, I get rewarded for lying. I do not get rewarded for speaking the truth. So why should I speak the truth? So I don't believe in this realm, man. It's a realm full of lies. It's a realm where people are not free enough to express themselves. You know, unless you get used to expressing yourself. But if you're not used to expressing yourself like the way that I express myself, you might feel guilty, you know. But now, because I'm so damn used to expressing myself, I don't feel guilty anymore. I'm like, this is who I am. This is my truth. This is what makes sense to me, and I'm not gonna hold back. But a lot of people are afraid to speak the truth, bro. A lot of people will reach out to me and tell me that, well, they're afraid to speak the truth. They want to speak the truth, but they are afraid. They're afraid of being judged. They want to speak their minds. They want to express themselves as honestly as they can, but they are afraid to do that because we live in a world where people are judged for speaking the truth. So because this experience didn't make sense, I do not believe that I would want to exist in another realm. Like this experience didn't make sense to me. You know, when I look at my childhood, I don't see why I went through the things that I went through. I don't see why I grew up the way that I grew up. Like nothing that I went through seemed to make sense. Like I don't see meaning in the experiences that I've heard. You know, it seems like I just had these experiences and that's it, for the sake of having these experiences. Like the script writers of my life, don't know what to write anymore, and are being pressured to try to write something, so they're just writing nonsense because it gets weirder. At least when I was young, not a lot was expected from me, and I was focusing more on having fun. Like as kids, we were focusing on having fun. Like, how can we have fun? You know, when you're chilling with your friends, you're thinking of having fun all the time. You're not thinking, hey, let me stress about this, let me stress about that. You're like, hey, how can I have fun? How can we have fun? You know, we gotta be creative. Let's try to have fun. So yeah, things were better, but still, that didn't make this experience meaningful. So how can I think that the experience that I'm going to have after this will be meaningful? You know, like why would I think that? Because even if you have it all, right, you have everything, I don't really think you would be satisfied. Like, you get used to the things that you have and you would want more. It doesn't mean that you become happy because of the things that you have. Like, let's say maybe you are richer than 99.9% of people who are here. You think that will make you feel better, but no. You might find yourself feeling more miserable than people who are actually poor. So having it all doesn't really mean that you're gonna be happy. It doesn't really mean you're gonna be satisfied. So it got to a point where I just thought that maybe existence itself is a curse. You know, like, just existence itself is a curse, and non-existence, that's actually what is good. Now, I'm not saying people must, you know, unalive themselves or anything like that. We don't know what happens after this, and my best guess is that consciousness continues, you know, to exist. I don't think, you know, I don't think like consciousness is generated by your brain. You know, I think your brain is a product of consciousness itself, and that's what scares me. But I would prefer non-existence over existence if I had that option. I'm not a fan of having an experience that I cannot justify, you know, because I end up suffering and not even be able to justify my suffering. Not be able to say, hey, I'm suffering because of this and that. I'm suffering because I'm working towards this and that. It's like, nah. You know, when I look at my life, I'm like, dude, I've just suffered. and I've always tried my best to be strong. I think that is important. You try your best to be strong because, well, what can you do? And I think most people are just trying their best to be strong because what can they do? Who can they complain to? It's not like people will really understand you if you try to complain and say you are not happy. People will blame you for not being happy. Have you realized that? If you start to complain and say you're not happy, people are going to blame you. You are the problem. That is why you're not happy. And even if they themselves are not happy, it's like they've just been programmed that way to like blame people for saying that they are not happy, even if they themselves are not happy. Human beings are like that. Like they judge other people for the same faults that they have. That's why that scripture in the Bible about Mary, like Jesus finding, these people who were trying to stone Mary and telling them that, hey man, look, if you've never sinned in your life, yes, you can cast the first stone. And they realized that they were all sinners. Like the reason why that scripture is still relevant today is because people are like that. They could all be feeling miserable, and if one person says, yeah, I'm miserable, like, you're weak. You're weak for saying that you're miserable, even if everyone is feeling miserable. And what made this experience a burden for me was not knowing. So now I ask myself, will knowing make my experience better? I think it will be better, but that wouldn't mean that it will be good. That wouldn't mean that it will be good. I mean, having an experience in a world where you know nothing, where you can't even be sure if other minds exist, right? When I talk about solipsism and tell people that you really cannot be sure if other minds exist, and the evidence that we have so far actually points to solipsism being true, people be like, no, that's stupid. Like, no, it is not. Like, if we had to have a deep conversation about what makes sense between believing that other minds exist or believing that there's only one mind, you'd realize that what makes sense is to believe that there's only one mind. Like, that's really what makes sense. Like, if you think deeply about it, you realize that that's what really makes sense. But of course it's weird. We've never been programmed to look at life that way. You've never been programmed to look at life as if you are the only conscious being in the universe. That's just weird, right? So of course, if someone tells you about solipsism, you'll be like, that doesn't make sense, even if it does make sense when you think about it. If you've never thought about it, of course it's not going to make sense. Right? It's people who are kind of like interested in mind-bending topics who will actually understand solipsism. If you tell a person who is not interested in mind-bending topics, you say, you're the only conscious being in the universe, be like, what? They'll never even give it a chance. They'll never try to do some thought experiment to try to realize what makes more sense. So yeah, you're in a world where you are not given any information about what is actually going on. You're just here, and you find yourself dealing with a lot of things that you don't really want to deal with. You find yourself existing, dealing with nonsense, pain, uncertainty, people trying to intimidate you, people trying to bully you, people trying to like make you feel like you're not good enough, people showing you that they don't like you, people coming into your life because they want something and leaving when you are attached to them, when you need them. Like that, there's a lot that we go through as humans without knowing why we're going through these things. So that makes this hard, man. That makes this a burden, because you don't know what's gonna happen after this experience. So you are stressing about the things that you're actually going through now, because you are going through a lot, but you also don't know what's gonna happen after this experience. What comes after this? You've watched many videos on YouTube of people talking about what they think happens after this, but you can never, like, even if you come across videos where someone really convinces you that they know what happens after this, you can never really say for sure that that's what really happens. You should always keep an open mind, because we are still in this realm. We can still be manipulated. We can still be shown things that are not true. Right? We can still be shown things that are not true. Especially people, and this is very important, what I'm about to tell you, especially people who are trusted by many people. I think this is the people who will actually be shown things that in this room, things that are not real, but things that will make them say things that these people who follow them are going to believe, right? So a person can have a near-death experience, and like maybe a YouTuber can have a near-death experience and come and tell you that, yeah, well, I've had a near-death experience and I used to think life was this and that, but life is this, you know what I mean? So that you will believe that what the powers that be want you to believe. So just because some people have had experiences doesn't mean that they had these experiences for the right reasons, That's why I've been telling you all that even if people like Bashar Abraham, he say that they are able to channel some entities that tell them what life is and what humanity is supposed to be doing, it doesn't mean that we must trust them. We need to figure out what makes the most sense, rather than just trusting people blindly because they are saying that they are able to communicate with aliens, or they are able to channel aliens. We must always ask ourselves what makes the most sense. That is why I've made videos telling y'all why Earth cannot be a school. Yes, a person can claim that they're channeling entities that are telling them that Earth is a school, but we need to figure out if Earth was a school, how would it be? Right? How should a school be? When you think about what's going on, does this place seem more like a school or more like a prison? It's through thinking that you will get to the highest truth. Does this place really seem more like a school or more like a prison? When you think deeply about everything, you realize that this place really does seem more like a prison. It doesn't really seem like a school. I've tried to look at this as a school, but it doesn't make sense to look at this as a school. Looking at my own life, I don't know if I've learned anything other than, figuring out how to detach myself from a lot of things. Like, I've only learned that something is wrong. You see, like, that's what I've learned actually, that something is not right. It's not like I've found answers that I was looking for, and I started to believe that we're having a positive experience, and yeah, everything is happening for the right reasons. I just was unconscious enough to realize that, but now I realize no. What I'm realizing is that there's something wrong that is actually going on here. So is that what I'm learning? That something is wrong? When I look at other people's lives, I'm like, what's going on? People lie about how they're doing until they trust you enough and they tell you how they're really doing, and you realize people are not okay, bro. Like, yes, when people don't trust you, they can't really tell you how they're doing, because why should they? They know that human beings don't even love one another like that. So it's hard for them to open up and say, hey man, this is really how I'm doing, and yeah, this really sucks. They can't really open up. It's only when they really trust you that they're able to open up and tell you exactly what they think. And you'd really, like, if each and every person was honest, you'd realize that, yeah, people are not doing good. That is why when you go online, for an example, and you find a post where someone says something that is true about life, a lot of people do comment, because, well, they feel like their online identities are not them. Like, that's just their online identities. Like, it's nothing. But in real life, they will not be saying these things that they will be saying online. You know, if someone says something negative in real life, they won't be like, yeah, you're right. You know, I also feel this way. I also feel, you know, they will think that there's something wrong with that person. That is why they're saying something that sounds negative, but that is true. But online, if someone says something negative, everyone is going to be like, yeah, man, I actually feel the way that you feel. You know, I've been feeling like that for a while. Yeah, I do feel like if I didn't have kids, you know, I wouldn't even want this. But then in real life, they will not say that, because they don't trust other people. They know that other people cannot be trusted, you know, because people gossip. But online, it's a bit different. Like, even if you post something online, people might not even take that too seriously. Be like, you just posted that on Facebook. It is what it is. But a lot of people are having a hard time. That's the truth. A lot of people are confused. A lot of people are scared. But this is a scary experience. You don't know what's going to happen tomorrow. That's scary, because you can get the worst news of your life tomorrow. That's scary. And because we know that there's like usually there's like more bad things that happen than the good things. So, you know, people are always scared, because they want good things to happen. You want to hear good news. You want to hear that the money that you've been waiting for 2 years is out. That makes you. This is gonna make you feel better. You wanna hear that the person that you love that was sick is now okay. You know, you wanna feel, but in this realm, it's usually not like that. So really, if I had freedom to choose to come back here, or to have an experience somewhere else, or to just not exist at all, why would I choose to come back here? Why would I choose to have an experience somewhere else? Why would I not choose to not, you know? Why would I not choose to be nothingness? To not stress about anything, not stress about paying my bills, not stress about my safety, not stress about my future, not stress about the afterlife, like what's gonna happen. What if, according to whatever, I'm doing something wrong, and I must be punished. It ought to be that I find myself in a place that's much worse than, you know what I mean? Anything, like, because we don't really know what is actually going on. Of course, there is that fear, right? No matter what like kind of insights I actually reach, still I cannot say I know anything for sure, because I'm still a human. I don't even know how my own mind works, why I'm convinced that some things are true, and why I'm convinced that some things are not true, and why some people are convinced that some things are true, and why they're convinced that some things are not true. You know, I don't know. Can't really know anything, man. It's a weird realm that we're in. Thank you all guys for watching until the end.